Namaste, yogis. Welcome to your practice. Today's class is going to be a core-focused, twisty Hatha yoga class. And the class, Hatha yoga, meaning there's not going to be any vinyasa flow. I've heard from quite a few of you that your shoulders have been bothering you, and I've also actually gotten requests for Hatha yoga class, so I want to make sure that I provide those, considering how many vinyasa classes are on this platform already. I will continue to share vinyasa classes, so don't worry. But this is going to be a twisty core focus class, so not appropriate if you're pregnant. So if you're pregnant or you think you're pregnant, I would not take this class. I'm not going to give modifications if you're pregnant because there would just be way too many and they would be overwhelming. So try another class or reach out to me and maybe we can work something out where I could do a private with you, or I could possibly, create a class that's good for those of us that are expecting. For this class, you will need 2 blocks. You will need a strap. And you will need a wall space, kind of a nice big wall space. We're going to actually do some standing poses using the wall, which is going to feel kind of cool. And that's it. So let's begin. Come to a comfortable seat. And when you're sitting, I like to prop my hips. So I have this block. I'm sitting on the block. Just a normal, comfortable seat. Crossing your legs if you prefer to sit on your heels. That's fine too. And we're going to begin with a couple of rounds of breath of fire, or Kapalabhati Pranayama. So Kapalabhati, if you're not familiar with it, let me actually take my jacket off real quick. If you're not familiar with it, it's basically where you pump your exhales, and when you exhale, you contract your abdominal muscles. So it looks and sounds a little bit like this. And what I'm doing is I'm exhaling through my nose, but I like to create a little sound in the throat so you hear the breath in the throat. And every time I exhale, and it's like a fast pump exhale, the navel presses back into the spine. Now, some people like to do this a little quicker. That's fine if that's the case. Some people might need to do this a little bit slower. We're going to do 3 rounds of 30. So 3 rounds of 30 Kapalabhatis. In between the 3 rounds, we'll take a nice big inhale, we'll hold it for a few moments, and then we'll exhale all the breath out, and then we'll go to the second, do the same thing, third, the same thing. If you get to 30, great. If you go beyond 30 because you're going a little quicker, that's fine too. If you don't get to 30, that's okay. And this is just a kind of a way to stoke this internal fire in our belly and just start to wake up the nervous system, because this is going to be a good strong class. So I want us to just kind of bring a little bit of awareness to the core muscles and to start to feel inspired and awake in this practice. So start with your hands on your knees, palms up or down, and relax the shoulders a little bit. And then you can do this with your eyes open, or if you prefer, close your eyes. And just take a couple of breaths here in and out through the nose. If you have sinus issues or runny nose, perhaps skip the Kapalabhati today and just breathe. Just breathe as smoothly as you can in and out of the nose, focusing on an expansion in the belly as you inhale and a contraction as you exhale. Now take a nice long inhale. Now exhale half of your breath. And let's begin our first Kapalabhati Pranayama. Exhale all the breath out. Now inhale. Slow and steady inhale. Feel the belly expand and the sternum lift, and then pause at the very top. Exhale all the breath out. Now breathe in slowly. And exhale. Inhale again. Exhale half of the capacity. And we'll begin our second round of 30 pumps Kapalabhati. Exhale all the breath out. Now inhale as much as you can and try not to gulp the inhale. So taking your time, keep breathing in. When you feel you're full, sip in a little more and then hold it at the top. Then slowly exhale. Exhale and empty out. We'll take a recovery breath. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale slow. Exhale half of your breath. And we'll begin the third cycle of Kapalabhati. Exhale, exhale all the breath out. And then inhale as much as you can. Antara Kumbhaka is the breath retention at the inhale, the top of the inhale. Hold it, pause. And then exhale. And then see if you can move right into Untitled Pranayama. So that slight contraction in the throat, balanced, even breath, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. And then when you're ready to, start to gently blink your eyes open. Okay. Lean back for a moment and just straighten your legs out in front of you. You can give the knees a little bit of a shake. And then I'm going to have you come to a different seat. So either sit on your heels, just like so, or if this bothers your ankles, grab a block or a couple blocks and place them in between the ankles to elevate the hips a little bit. Okay, so if you can sit on the heels, it's a nice stretch for the tops of the feet and the knees, but if it hurts, then sit on a block or a couple of pillows, okay? So sit up tall, and then reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Now as you reach the arms up towards the ceiling, interlace your fingers and flip the palms of your hands up. So the arms are as straight as they can be. And then as you reach the arms up, draw the front ribs back a little bit. So you feel some lift in the back body. Now take a big inhale. Now as you exhale, turn the ribs to the right, using a little bit of core strength. And then try that again. Inhale. Exhale, turn the ribs a little bit further to the right. And then one more time. Inhale, get even taller. And then exhale, turn the ribs a little bit more. Take a nice slow breath in. Now as you exhale, release the twist. Release the hands. Turn the palms of the hands to face forward, and then bend the elbows out to the sides like goalpost arms. Cross your right elbow above your left elbow, and then take eagle arms. So if you can, wrap your wrists. If that's not happening today, you can grab a hold of the backs of the shoulders. Now pick up the elbows, press the forearms forward, and then just take a couple of breaths here. Relax the shoulders. Good. And I'm going to add a little neck thing here. So if you'd like, you're going to tilt your hands to your right and drop your left ear to the left shoulder. And this is a wonderful stretch that I learned from a teacher named Jason Crandall, who's also been doing a lot of online yoga, a lot longer than the pandemic actually. So he's got it dialed in. All right, go ahead and lift your head, release the arms, and then shake it out for a moment. You can take your hands behind your back, interlace the fingers, stretch your knuckles down, and then squeeze the shoulder blades together. Good. So we're just starting with a little shoulder opening. Okay. Now release that, and then take the arms overhead. Interlace the fingers, perhaps switch the crossings, flip the palms of your hands up. And then reset. So notice if the ribs are spilling out in front of you, draw them in a little bit more. Nice and long through your side body. Inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. Now inhale, get even taller. Exhale, twist a little deeper. One more. Inhale. Now exhale, turn, turn, turn. Stay there as you inhale. And then exhale, release that one. And then go ahead and release the hands. Turn the palms of the hands forward. Cactus or goalpost arms. Press the shoulders back and then take the left elbow above the right elbow. So switching the crossings. Remember how to modify. Keep your elbows about chin height. Gently protract your arms. Good. Relax the shoulders, the trapezius muscles. And then from there, let your hands tilt to your left as your right ear drops to the right. Good. Just a couple of breaths. Nice little neck stretch. Okay, good. Now lift your head, release the arms, shake it out. And then take your hands behind your back again, interlace the fingers the other way with the opposite thumb on top. And then stretch the knuckles down and away from you. And when you do this, try your best not to hyperextend your elbows. So keep a little bend in the elbows and focusing on moving the fronts of the shoulders back. And then shoulder blades slide down. Okay, so the sternum feels a little more lift. All right, good. Now go ahead and release that. And we're going to come onto our backs now. So I promise you we are definitely going to get into this, but I want to start a little bit more mellow. So come onto your backs and reach for your strap. And then once you have your strap in your hand, you're lying on your back, you're going to unroll your strap, okay? And you're going to loop your right foot in your strap and take the right leg straight up towards the ceiling. And I'm going to say loop the strap around the ball of the foot today. Take your right thumb, dig it into the crease of the right hip, and just kind of press that forward a little. And then start to slowly straighten your left leg. And your left leg is pressing down into the floor. The foot is flexed. So the knee and the toes are pointing up. And then just kind of pull the leg towards you any amount. Remember, you can have a little bend in the knee. Okay. And since we're just starting out, even if you're really hypermobile or flexible, it's nice to use the strap so you can have your hands kind of slide down and the elbows could be on the floor, the shoulders relax. So it's not so intense. Okay. Now we're going to move into a twist here. So slide your left hand up your strap, okay? And make sure the arm is straight. And then what I'm going to say to start first is press the right hand into the top of the right thigh and then start to move the right leg over to the left before turning your hips. Okay. I love this stretch. This is a great stretch for the IT band. So runners, those of you that are doing a lot of running or walking or biking, those muscle groups tend to get kind of tighter, the tendons. Okay, now we're going to move into a twist. So take your leg and lower it all the way down to the floor along the left side of your mat. Now, if it doesn't reach the floor, you can always place a block underneath the foot. Let your hips turn with you. Then try to keep the right shoulder pretty close to the floor if it's not on the floor. So relax the right shoulder. Keep holding your strap with your left hand. Reach the right arm to the right and turn the palm of the hand up to face the ceiling. And then turn your head towards the right hand to get a nice little neck stretch. Take a couple of deep breaths. If you want to give yourself a little adjustment, take your right hand to your right outer hip and just kind of move it away from the waist. So press it away from the waist and the chest. Okay. Now let's go ahead and release that. So carefully lift the right leg up again. And then move your strap. Bring your right knee into your chest and give it a little squeeze. Okay. Now let's go ahead and release this side. Start with your feet on the floor. And then take your strap again. Loop the strap around the ball of your left foot. And then slowly reach your left leg up towards the ceiling. And again, have the strap around the ball mound of the foot. Press the ball mound of the foot into the strap a little bit. Take your left thumb, bring it into the crease of the left hip. Press it away from you a little bit, and then start to straighten your right leg. And then press the top of the right thigh down. And from there, just see how it feels to bring the left leg a little bit closer. So you could always have a little bend in the left knee, especially if you're on the tighter side. You know, if you have low back stuff going on, this is a great way to stretch your hamstrings too. So anything that you're lying on your back and doing these little leg stretches should feel a lot better if you have like sciatica or any kind of lower back thing going on. Just a couple more moments. Keep the legs active. Okay. Now with your right hand, reach up so you're holding the strap as close to your foot as you can. Place your left hand on the top of the left leg, and as you press the left leg forward a little bit, lower your left leg to the right a little, like enough that you feel a stretch along the outer leg. Good. So depending on where your tightness feels, you might feel it a little closer to the outer knee, or perhaps a little higher up towards the hip. Good. All right, now we're going to move into the full twist. So take your left leg and lower it all the way down to the right. So you see my pelvis turned with the leg, but my left shoulder reaches to the floor. So the ribs are actually twisting to the left as the hips turn over to the right. And then left shoulder heavy, left hand faces the ceiling. And if it feels okay, look to the left hand. Good. It's one of my favorite supine poses. All right, and then you want to take that little kind of self-adjustment, last little bit here, perhaps place the left hand on the outer hip and just kind of press that away from you a little bit. I miss giving this adjustment very much. Okay. Now start to slowly make your way back up. And then from there, you can move your strap out of the way. Just kind of place it out of the way so it's not in your way. Bring your left knee into the chest. Bring the right knee into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. A little bit of a rock from side to side. And then we're going to come into a downward facing dog. So this is going to be a slightly different down dog. We're going to have to take a short down dog. So first come onto your hands and your knees. And go ahead and set your 2 blocks near the front of your mat so they're ready to go. Nice to be prepared. And come into a tabletop position. Now once you're in the tabletop pose, spread your fingers nice and wide. Tuck your toes under and lift your knees and your hips, moving into your average down dog, right? So in the average or longer down dog, for many of us, it's very difficult to get the heels to the floor. So try this. Take your feet a little wider on your sticky mat, and then walk your hands closer to the feet until the heels reach the floor or get as close as possible. So it's a shorter downward facing dog. And what I want you to really do is ground into your legs and your feet. So press the inner and outer foot evenly into the floor. As you hug your outer shins in, roll the inner thighs back. And then move the tops of the femur bones towards the hamstrings. And then from there, see if you can put a little bend in your knees without lifting your heels off the floor. So it's a pretty deep stretch for the calves and the hamstrings. And then to add a little extra, lift your toes off the floor and spread them wide. So, if you're not feeling this at all, you can always walk your hands forward a little bit so you get a deeper stretch. Take a few more moments. You can check your hands. Just make sure that your hands are not too close together and that your fingers are not pointing towards each other. You want to be able to roll the inner arms towards the front of the mat, and then without locking your elbows, firm the outer upper arms in. Okay. Now bring your left hand a little closer to the right hand. You can work the legs a little straighter now again. With your right hand, reach for your left leg, somewhere on the outside. And then as you press your left leg back, turn the ribs underneath the left arm. Take a few slow breaths. You can look under the left arm if you'd like. And then switch sides. So place the right hand where the left hand was, so a little more towards the center of your mat. With your left hand, grab the outside of the right leg, somewhere below the knee, and then turn the upper body to the right. Notice how that right hip wants to move forward. Keep pressing it back. All right. Now go ahead and release that. And then you're going to walk your hands towards the back of your mat, coming into a forward fold. Now you can bring the feet a little closer together, about hips distance. I'm going to say put a soft bend to the knees and just rock forward and back a few times. Shake your head yes and no. Good. Now let's take a nice easy twist here. Bend your left knee a little deeper and then straighten your right leg. Bring your left hand on the floor, or if you need to, a block, and straighten your left arm. Twist to the right, reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. You can keep the right arm reaching or internally rotate the right arm and take a half wrap or a half bind, grabbing your left leg. Lean that right shoulder back. Turn your head to look up if it's okay on your neck. Take another breath in. Now as you exhale, look down, release. Place the right hand on the floor and we'll switch. So bend your right knee deeply, reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. Turn your ribs. You can let the hips shift a little bit too. And then those of us that want to take the half bind, take the left arm, drape it behind you and find what you can find. Focus on the left shoulder, pressing back a little bit. And if you'd like, look up towards the ceiling. Take another inhale. Now as you exhale, go ahead and bring both hands to the floor. Now bend your knees, both of them, and then gently, one vertebrae at a time, roll up to stand. So just start to roll up, roll up, roll up, roll up, roll up. Okay, head last. Okay, let's begin. Let's come to the top of the mat. Now remember, there's no sun salutations in this practice. I apologize if that's your jam, but I think it's nice, especially as you progress in the practice, to take little breaks from the shoulder stuff, okay? So bring your arms by your sides. Stand nice and tall. Take a nice slow breath in. And exhale. Press the feet down. Inhale, reach both arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, lower the hands to the mat and fold. Inhale, find a flat back, lengthen. Bring your hands to the mat. Step your left foot to the back of your mat. Now pause. Take a moment in your lunge, bending the right knee until it's on top of the right ankle. Let your hips sink, but press the back leg up. Now square your hips off. Make sure that your feet are not too narrow here so it's not so difficult to balance. Bring your hands to your hips and then slowly inhale, come on up. Now once you're upright, take a moment again to find your balance. Put a bend in your back knee. Lift your hip bones away from your front thigh and point them straight ahead. Now bring your hands to your front ribs and just kind of draw them in. Imagine like you're tightening a corset around your rib cage. And then reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Now as you reach the arms up, don't lose the bend in the front knee. See if you can work your back leg a little straighter. Now reach your left arm forward and then reach your right arm back. Turn the ribs to the right. Imagine like you're trying to give the person to the right a giant hug. One day, we'll all be able to hug again. Relax the shoulders, lengthen through the crown of your head. Take another breath here. Now we're going to come into another twist. Place your left hand either on the floor or a block on the inside of your right foot, and then reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. And then as you reach the right arm up towards the ceiling, lean the right shoulder back, bend the right knee a little more, and press the top of your back leg up. You can lean the head back and look up if you'd like. Big inhale. Exhale, bring the right hand to the floor on the outside of the right foot. Now inhale, step to the front of your mat And find a flat back. So reach the sternum away from the pubic bone. Now as you exhale, fold, step your right foot back. Now once you step the right foot back, just take a moment. A lot of times I see in classes that the hips don't drop enough. So see if you can get the hips to really, really drop, but at the same time lift the back thigh up. So you get a nice stretch along the hip flexor muscles there. Ground through the front heel, bring the hands to the hips, and when you're ready, start to come on up. Now once you're upright, a little bend in the back knee, lift your hip bones, draw the navel in, bring your hands to the front ribs. A lot of times the ribs are spilling out in front of us, so draw them in, knit them in, and then reach the arms up. Now try to bend your left knee a little deeper. Most of us can. Maybe you work the back leg a little straighter. Now reach the right arm forward. Reach your left arm back, and then turn the ribs to the left. The palms are facing the left as well. And as you turn the ribs, you're really using core strength to do this. Press the back heel back, bend the left knee deeper. Take another breath in. Now right hand to a block or the floor on the inside of your left foot. Reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. Keep grounding through the front inner foot. I feel that helps stabilize the knee, especially the heel. And then firm the left outer hip in, lift the back leg up. Try to turn a little more, bottom shoulder away from the ear. See if you can look up. Big inhale. Exhale, left hand to the floor. Inhale, step to the front of your mat and find a flat back, lengthen. As you exhale, bend forward. Press the feet to the floor. Inhale, rise up to stand. Reach the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Exhale, mountain pose, Tadasana. Okay. Step to the center of your mat and turn your feet to face the long edge of your mat. Now take your feet wide apart on your sticky mat and then bring your hands to the hips. Now with your hands on your hips, make sure the feet are parallel. So most of us might feel slightly pigeon-toed when we do that, but that's okay. Work the legs straight without locking the knees. Ground through the legs, stand nice and tall, and then point the elbows back. Take a nice big breath in. Now as you exhale, reach the chest forward and bend forward. Now bring your hands to the mat under the shoulders. Straighten your arms for an inhale, lengthen. And then as you exhale, bend the elbows and fold a little deeper. Walk your hands back a bit, firm the forearms in, and then reach the crown of your head to the floor. And as you reach the crown of the head to the floor, lean your weight slightly forward. Try to move your hands back a little bit, and then bring your ribs through the legs. Unshrugging your shoulders, squeeze the outer legs in. Okay. Now walk your hands under the shoulders again and straighten your elbows. Now bring your left hand a little closer to the right hand and then start to twist to the right. So take your right arm and reach it up towards the ceiling. Now notice what happens to the left hip and outer leg, how it tends to drop a little bit. So if you can, place your right hand on your sacrum and see if you can level your sacrum. It's as if you're trying to balance a tennis ball on the lower back. Now lean the top shoulder back and then reach the right arm up again. Try to look up towards the right thumb. Okay, take another big inhale. Now as you exhale, release the right hand down and we'll switch sides. So right hand more towards the center, reach your left arm up and turn. And just kind of let the pelvis do what it wants to do. It wants to twist with you, and that's fine. But now bring your left hand to the lower back and level off the tailbone as much as you can. And then from there, twist. See if you feel it somewhere else. See if you feel a little more opening in the back. And then take your left arm up again. Move the bottom shoulder away from the ear. Keep a nice lift through the spine, or length through the spine rather. Some of us look up. Take another inhale. Exhale. Bring your left hand to the mat. Now come onto your fingertips. Straighten your elbows and find a flat back. Bring your hands to the hips. Point the elbows up. Press the feet down, come all the way up. Okay. Heel, toe your feet towards one another. And then step your feet back to the top of your mat. So make your way back, into mountain pose, Tadasana. Okay, I'm actually gonna turn myself around because we're gonna be doing some twists. I wanna make sure you can see the first side. Good. So arms by your sides. If you practice chair pose with your feet together, bring your feet together. Bend your knees for chair pose, Utkatasana. So go ahead and sit low. Reach the arms and the chest up. Draw the belly in. Bring the weight into the heels. Press the inner foot down and then roll the outer shins back a little. Now we're going to take a twist. Bring your left elbow to the outside of your right leg. Now if you need to, bring your right hand to the right hip and just kind of work that elbow down. Then lean the right shoulder back. Bring the hands together in front of your heart. Thumbs towards the center of your sternum. Look down, make sure that your left knee is in line with the right knee. Those of us that want to open those arms, go for it. Left hand to the outside of the right foot. Right arm reaches up. Lean the right shoulder back. See if you can look up here. Take another inhale. Okay, now exhale. Hands to the floor and fold forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine, flat back. Now bring the hands to the mat again. Step your left foot back, so we're coming into a high lunge again. Now reset, bend the right knee deeper. Bring your hands to your hips, just like we started the first time. Make your way up. Find your lunge, draw the belly in. Now just take your left arm and reach it up towards the ceiling. You can take the twist we did earlier. Otherwise, bring your left elbow to the outside of your right leg. Once you've done that, lean your top shoulder back, bring the hands together. Now work your back leg. Press the top of your back leg up. Make sure the right knee and toes are still pointing forward. If you want to take it a little further, place your left hand on the mat or a block on the outside of the right foot and reach the right arm up. Do your best here and don't forget the breathing practice. Really focus on that. If you would like to look up, take another inhale. Okay, bring both hands to the mat as you exhale. Now step forward to the top of your mat. Inhale into a flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Now let's bend the knees for chair pose again. Sit low, reach the arms forward and up. And then from there, let's twist to the left. So sit a little deeper if you can. Take your right elbow and work it down the outside of your left leg. Remember that right knee likes to poke in front of you, so just see that and then adjust. Move the shin back a little more. Lean the top shoulder back. Start or stay with the hands together. You can lean the head back a little bit too. Lean the chest back. Some of us are going to widen the arms again. Right hand to the outside of your left foot. Left arm up. Pull the chest forward. Twist a little deeper. Try to look up if you can. Take one more inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat, and fold forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, looking forward. Find a flat back. Now, hands to the mat. Step the right foot to the back of your mat. Come into a crescent pose shape with your legs. When you feel stable and grounded, bring your hands to your hips, and then start to make your way into your lunge. I'm starting to sweat a little bit. Pull the navel in, lift your hip bones and square your hips. Now keep your left hand on your leg for now. Reach the right arm up, get long through the right side. Now as you exhale, lean forward, turn to your left, and hook your right elbow to the outside of your left leg. Now take that top shoulder back, and then bring the hands together again. This left elbow, try to point it up. And then press the left hand into the right hand. Lean your chest back a little more. Now those of us who want to take it a little deeper if you'd like, right hand to the outside of your left foot, left arm up. Don't forget the back leg, lift it. Turn from the waist, from the pit of the belly. Maybe look up here, take another inhale. Exhale, bring both hands to the floor and pause. Step forward to the front of your mat. Inhale into a flat back, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. All right, bend your knees for chair pose, Utkatasana. Sit low, lift the arms, lift the eyes. All right, now from here, stand up and bring your arms by your sides. Okay. Grab your 2 blocks, okay? Come back to the middle of your mat, and then step your feet wide apart again. And then what I want you to do with these blocks is place them right behind the heels of your feet. I'm going to set mine at the medium height. You can do the same. We can adjust once we get where we're going. Now start with your hands on your hips. Take a big inhale. Now bend your right knee, and then rotate your right knee and foot to the right. Now straighten the right leg for a moment, and then angle your left foot in. Now level your hips off, reach the arms out to the sides. Take a big inhale. Now exhale, bend your right knee for warrior 2. Now you may need to adjust the width of your feet, go a little longer if you need to. Work the right inner leg forward and the outer right leg back. Press the back leg straight, reach back with your left arm a little bit. Now look towards the right hand, take an inhale. Side angle pose. Bring your right hand to the outside of your right foot and then reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. Now look down for a moment. Make sure the right knee and toes are pointing forward and then the back leg is straight. Now rotate the top arm from the shoulder so the palm of your hand is facing the right leg, and then take the left arm and extend it overhead. Now as you extend the left arm, reach and continue to rotate. So the pinky side of your arm is turning down and the thumb side of the arms turns in and up. Now begin to rotate the ribs towards the ceiling. So this is a twist too, it's an open twist. And as you turn the right ribs to the left ribs, lean your chest back, but pull the belly in and try to look up. Almost there, take one more inhale. Now reach your left arm up, look down, come back to warrior 2. Pause here, bend the right knee a little deeper. All right, now straighten your right leg. Relax your arms, parallel your feet again. Bring your hands to the hips. Bend your left knee. From your hip, turn your left knee and toes to the left. Now straighten your left leg, angle the right toes in, and then once again, try to level the hips. So firm the right outer hip in. Take the arms out to the sides. Once you're ready, look to the left hand, bend the left knee for warrior 2. So the left knee points in the direction of the left foot. And the back toes, turn them in some and allow the back hip to turn in too, but see if you can turn the navel a little bit more to the right. Now look towards your left hand. Take another inhale. Now as you exhale, move into side angle pose again, Parsvakonasana. So left hand to the outside of the foot on a block, right arm up. Move your left thigh bone deep into the hip. And then from there, from the shoulder, rotate the palm of the right hand forward and extend. And then continue to rotate. Continue to rotate. And as you do so, turn the left ribs up. Move the front ribs in as you lean your upper chest back. Keep pressing the back foot into the floor, the outer foot in the heel, and keep the left inner thigh sliding towards the left inner knee. If it feels okay, look up. Last breath here, inhale. All right, right hand up, look down. Now from there, slowly make your way into warrior 2 as you breathe in. Okay, and then start to straighten your left leg. Relax your arms, parallel the feet. Heel toe your feet together. All right, now we're gonna have some fun. Shake it out a little bit. You have a wall space, or you should. What I'm gonna ask you to do is bring your mat to a wall, but not for handstands or anything like that. You're actually gonna take, I'm gonna move this little thing out of the way. You're gonna take the long part of your mat and slide it against the wall. So it's basically just bringing your mat to a wall, okay? And you're gonna need enough space to practice pyramid pose. So I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do and we're gonna try it. So I'm gonna start with my right foot in front of me. So the right side of my body is right up against the wall and my left foot's behind me, about 3.5 to 4 feet of distance. So as you can see, this is about how much space you're gonna need. So see if you can find that space. And then I'm gonna have you take your 2 blocks and bring them on either side of your right foot. Okay, so go ahead and make your way into that spot and make your way into a pyramid pose with just the legs. Just the legs. Now make sure the right knee and toes are pointing forward, and your back toes, they don't have to be completely pointed forward. They can angle out a little bit. And I like to have my feet spaced about heel to heel or just like a little bit wider, okay? Now once you're there, your hip bones point towards that right leg. And that back knee is going to want to buckle, so ground through the back foot. That's going to be your anchor, and press your back leg straight. Now, bring the hands to the hips for a moment. Notice if the pelvis is tipping forward. Draw the navel in, lift your hip bones up. Now keep your right hand on your right hip. Reach your left arm up. Get long through the left side. Take a big inhale. Now as you exhale, reach your chest forward. Take your left arm with you. And then bring your left hand to a block on the inside of the right foot to start. Okay. Now, just like we did in that wide-legged forward fold, bring your right hand to your lower back and just kind of feel it out. For a lot of us, that left hip tips down a little bit more. So try to level the hips. Move your left thigh back, but firm the right outer hip in. Now, bring your left hand to the wall, just like I have here with the elbow bent. And then just start to crawl the hand up. Now as you crawl the hand up, turn the ribs to the right. Now again, I want you to keep checking with your legs. Is the right hip bumping towards the wall? If it is, I want you to move it away from the wall and steer it back. Is your left hip tipping forward? I want you to move your left thigh back. Now with your right arm reaching up, try to bend the elbow a little bit and see if you can turn the ribs. And then from there, if you'd like to, this is tricky, bring your left hand to the outside of the foot on the block and turn a little bit deeper. And then just keep working the twist, keep moving your right outer hip back, and keep pressing the back leg straight. And if you keep your elbow bent, you get a nice little stretch in the shoulder. You can look up if you'd like, or keep looking down. I say press the right inner foot into the floor a little more firmly. All right, take another inhale. Now look at the floor first. Place your left hand on the block on the outside or inside of the right foot, and then lower your right hand onto the block on the outside of the right foot. And just take a few breaths and fold over the right leg, okay? Just let your head drop, let the head relax. Even let the shoulders round a little bit. Okay, now from there, straighten your arms and find a flat back. Keep the flat back, just bring the hands to the hips, point the elbows up, press the feet into the floor and inhale, stand, okay? Bend the right knee a little bit and step your left foot next to the right foot. Now we're gonna turn around, so we're gonna do the other side. So when you turn around, the left side of your body is facing the wall. Place your left foot in front of you, left knee and toes pointing forward. Hop your back foot back. Again, a good 3 feet, 3.5 feet, something like that. Take your hands, or your blocks rather, and place them on either side of your left foot. And then before we come into the pose, just check your legs, check your foundation. The back toes angle slightly out, about 20 degrees, maybe say 2 o'clock. Your left knee and toes are pointing right to noon, to 12 o'clock. Those hip bones are also pointing forward, and there's a slight lift, so the ribs hug in. Now, you can use your hands to kind of feel this, so the hips are level, the hip bones are pointing straight ahead, so they're neutral, your legs are neutral. Keep your left hand on your left hip. Reach the right arm up. Now, when you reach the right arm up, find a little bit of an extension through the right side. The whole right side's got to extend. Take a nice inhale. Now, exhale, reach forward. If you need to, put a tiny bend in your front knee, and then place your right hand on your block, on the inside of the foot to start. Now, don't fold over the left leg. Keep this vertical spine. Keep the belly drawing in. Bring your left hand to your lower back. Now, notice, if you had a little tennis ball there, would it fall right off to the right side of your hip? If that's the case, level the hips a little more, firm the back leg super straight. Now, bring your left hand to the wall. You can start with the elbow bent and use that hand to turn the ribs.
Now check the legs. Is that left hip touching the wall? If it is, you gotta pull it away from the wall. The right heel grounds. Turn a little deeper. Start to walk your left hand up the wall. So this looks like twisting triangle pose. Keep grounding through the big toe mound of your left foot and the ball of the left foot. And then put a little bend in your left elbow. And it's gonna really get you a nice stretch on the shoulder. And as you tip that left shoulder back, notice what's happening to the bottom shoulder. Is it pulling forward? Move it away from the neck. And then breathe and twist. Inhale, find extension. Exhale, twist. And just keep working with your body. Keep refining. So I'm always checking, like either visually or just kind of instinctually. Is my back hip starting to get a little sleepy? Press it back a little more. Turn a little more. You can look up. Almost there. Breathe. One more inhale. Okay, now as you exhale, look down. Bring your left hand onto a block and fold forward. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Straighten your arms again. Find your twist again, where you just were. Take your right hand to the outside of the left foot. If you didn't do this, when you take the right hand to the outside of the left foot, it makes the twist a little tighter. It also makes it a little more challenging. You're really turning on the center axis of the body. Okay, that's good for me. Take one more inhale. Now look down. Bring the right hand back to the inside of your left foot and gently lower the left hand. Good. Now just fold for a moment. Let your back round some. Take a couple of breaths. Let your head relax. Okay. Now inhale, straighten your elbows again. Bring the hands to the hips. Press the feet down, inhale, stand. Put a little bend in your front knee and step the right foot next to the left foot. Okay, well done. We're gonna try one more thing, okay? This is a fun pose, twisting half moon pose. We're gonna do something similar to what we did with the twisting triangle pose, the pose that we were just in, okay? But instead of the back foot being on the floor, it's gonna be in the air. So, set yourselves up, come back to the spot with the right side of your body, about half a block's distance from the wall, pretty close. And then bring your blocks on the floor in front of your feet. The highest height, I'm gonna say, okay? Now from here, bend the knees a little bit, come into a forward fold, bring your hands on the blocks. Now straighten your arms, and with your elbows straight, pull the chest forward, but draw the belly in. Now keep the right foot on the floor. We're not going to hold this terribly long at all. I know it's going to be a hard one to hold. Lift your left leg straight up. Now once you lift your left leg straight up, flex your left foot, point the left knee and toes to the floor. Now keep your left hand on the floor, on the block rather. Bring your right hand to the lower back to start. Notice if that left hip is drooping. So lift the top of the leg and then bring the right hand straight up. Press the right hand into the wall. Now if you need to move your block in a little bit, crawl the right hand up to twist. Crawl the right hand up to twist. That back leg has to work. Press the right hand into the wall. Lean the top shoulder back. Press the left heel back. That right hip, if it's leaning into the wall, guess what you have to do? Move it away from the wall. Take one more inhale. Now look down. Bring the right hand to a block. And lower the left foot next to the right foot. Okay. Bend your knees a little bit. Fold. Take a hold of your elbows. And just let your torso hang. Let the torso hang, a little sway from side to side. Okay. Whew. Now release your hands. A little bit of a bend in the knees. Gently roll up to stand. One vertebrae at a time. Okay, let's do the final one. So grab your blocks. Notice how I bend my knees when I grab my blocks. You want to try not to just kind of tip forward, pull up. That's what ends up throwing out your back. So use your legs. Even though the blocks don't weigh very much, it's still important to use the legs. Turn around and then face the other side of the mat so the left side of your body is close to the wall, okay? Take your blocks, I'm gonna move back a little bit. Take your blocks and bring them on the floor in front of the feet. Again, I just bent my knees a little bit, okay? Hands to the hips, ground through the feet. Take a big inhale, stand tall. Now as you exhale, begin to tip forward. Now as you tip forward, place the right hand on your block. Bring the right hand to the bring both hands to the blocks. But find a flat back. So think Ardha Uttanasana. Shoulders shrug, move them away from the ears. Belly lifts. Now keep the right foot down, and then lift your left leg. And feel free to adjust if you want to move a little closer to the wall. Change the positions of your legs. When the left leg lifts, the left foot is flexed, the knee and toes are pointing down. The right foot is pointing straight ahead. Good. All right. I messed up. Lower your left foot. I apologize, everybody. Left foot on the floor. Twists kind of make my mind a little crazy. Lift your right leg up. Okay. So the left leg is on the floor. Left foot. Right leg lifts. Bring the right hand a little closer to the wall if you'd like. Start with your left hand on your lower back. Remember that right hamstrings, those glutes are working. Do your best to maintain that. Keep the right thigh lifted. Bring your left hand to the wall. Palm flat, elbow straight. And then as you walk your left hand up, you twist and twist. Now that back leg and hip is going to want to droop. Try not to let it. That left hip is going to want to bump out to the left. Pull it away from the wall. Turn along the center axis of your body. Feel the twist coming from your waist. That's it. Take one more inhale. Now look down. Carefully bring your left hand to a block and lower the right foot next to the left foot. Okay. Now from there, put a nice deep bend in your knees. Fold a little deeper so the ribs are resting on your legs. Take a hold of your elbows and let your torso hang. Let the torso hang. Take a few slow breaths here. Okay. Now releasing the arms. Put a little bend in the knee, a little deeper. And then one more time, roll up to stand. Once you roll up to stand, roll the shoulders back and down. Okay. Grab your two blocks. And then we could just set the blocks out of the way. You probably, actually set the blocks near the front of your mat. You might want to use them one more time. So if your mat was super close to the wall and you want to slide it away from the wall, you can, okay? Move my strap. And then come back to the original top of your mat, whatever that was. Take a moment in mountain pose. Good. Eyes open or maybe the eyes closed. And just give your body a moment to adjust to all the twists that you've done. Notice where you feel the effects of the twist in your body. So for me, I feel it a lot in the upper back. Twists are great for opening the thoracic. And you feel this kind of energy that might have felt a little stagnant. All right, take one more big inhale. And then as you exhale, open the eyes. Press the feet into the floor. Inhale, reach the arms towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knees and fold forward. Lower the hands to the floor. Inhale, flat back and lengthen. Okay, bring the hands to the mat and step your left foot back again. And we're going to come into a low lunge. So lower your back knee and just pause for a moment. So you can keep your fingertips on the floor. You can always grab blocks and place your hands on blocks, okay? Just a couple of breaths with your fingertips on the floor. Okay. All right. Now, bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot and heel toe the right foot a little bit out to the right. And then turning from your hip, rotate your right knee and toes at an angle out to the right side. So we're going to take a kind of what they call a lizard lunge. Keep your left hand on the floor. Place your right hand on the right inner knee. Press the knee out to the side and then twist the ribs to the right. So this is a nice little open kind of twist again. Those of us that want to reach back with the right hand, bend the left knee and hold the foot, you can. You can do this with your left forearm on the block or the floor. And then just kind of playing with this. as you let your hips sink, see if you can pull your left foot towards you so you really feel that stretch. And then take the right shoulder and lean it back. Just one more. This is more of a gentle twist. All right. Take another inhale. Now if you have that back foot, release it. Bring your hands to the floor. And then move your front foot in between your hands. Now heel your front foot forward a little bit, or heel toe your front foot forward a little. Shift your hips back and straighten your right leg. Now when you're doing this pose, notice if your back is rounding a lot. If it is, grab your blocks, bring your blocks under your hands, and then reach your chest forward. And you're going to get a lot more of a stretch that way. Those of us that have we practice splits or Hanumanasana, feel free to start to slide the legs apart. Be mindful if you haven't done this in a while, okay? Especially if you've spent a lot of time sitting in a desk or a chair, that really tightens the hamstrings a lot. So take a couple of breaths and the hip flexors. Work the left outer hip down, steer the right outer hip back. I read in some article, I don't know if this is true or not, but they say that sitting is probably one of the most unhealthy things you can do for your body. It's something that ages the body very quickly, sitting a lot, whether it's in your chair, working, or your couch. So just notice how much sitting you do and kind of balance it out. I like to sit on the floor. I like to lay on my stomach. You know, yin yoga is really great for that. You can practice yin yoga while you're watching, you know, your favorite Netflix show. All right. When you're ready to come out, come on out. Rebend the right knee. Okay, so you're back in the lunge. Tuck your back toes, lift the back knee up, look forward, and then step to the top of your mat and just take a nice, gentle forward fold, noticing the difference between the right and the left leg. Now inhale, find a flat back and lengthen one more time. Now as you exhale, fold, step the right foot back and lower the right knee down. Now let's just stay here for a few breaths. Good. Just let the hips sink. Hands on floor blocks. Now place your left hand on the inside of your left foot and start to heel toe your left foot off to the left. And then when you do that, again, turn it from the hip. So don't just turn the foot, turn the whole leg out to the side. And then see if you can slide your back knee a little further back. Some of us can. Right hand on floor block, left hand to inner knee. Give it a gentle press as you turn the ribs to the left. Good. This is a wonderful place to stay. Some of us are taking the left hand back and summoning that right foot into the hand. Oh, this side's tight. And then just take a few breaths. Press that front shoulder or that top shoulder back a little more and just play with your edges, right? Perhaps pulling the heel a little closer just to see how that feels. Be mindful of how your body reacts to these stretches though. You don't want to feel pain, sharp pain. You want to feel sometimes a little discomfort. That's okay. Okay. Ah. Now those of us that have the back foot, let it gently release. Bring both hands to the floor. And then walk your front foot in between your hands. Now once you've done that, inch your front foot forward a little. So it's slightly in front of the left knee. Shift your hips back and straighten your front leg. Okay. Remember, you can use blocks. Now, it's very interesting how different one side feels compared to the other. My left hamstrings are a lot more tight, a lot less flexible than the right. So, you know, you just kind of do with what you can, right? And if you want to start to play with separating the legs, if you're on the tighter leg, maybe you just kind of hover a little bit. Or for me, I just go a lot slower. Good. Yeah, there it is. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of finessing on one side versus the other. And patience and acceptance. Take a few more breaths wherever you are.
good. Now, sorry, I can hold these poses for a while. Start to make your way back into your lunge. And then when you come back into the lunge, we're going to come back into a downward dog. We haven't been there in a while. So hands on either side of your front foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and then step your left foot next to the right foot. And just take a few breaths in down dog. Cuddle out your legs. Good. Shake your head a few times, yes and no. Spread the fingers, spread the toes. Okay. All right. Bring your knees to the mat. And then we're going to come onto our backs. So move your feet to one side, shift your hips over to the other side, and then lie down. We have a little core work to do. We'll do a couple of bridge poses, and we'll be done. Okay? So lie down on your back. And have a block close by. Have one of your blocks close by. Start with your feet on the floor, knees bent, pointing up, okay? And then just kind of feel your hip bones and just notice how the pelvis moves. When you move the hip bones towards the lower ribs, the lower back presses down. And then when you move the hip bones away from the lower ribs, the lower back lifts. Just kind of go back and forth. If you took my core class, this is kind of a nice way to work the pelvic floor muscles, as well as the transverse abdominis muscles. They're really hard muscles to access. Okay. Now you want to try to create a little bit of that corset feeling as we're doing these next poses, okay? So you're not necessarily squeezing your butt cheek and tucking your tail, but your hip bones and the lower ribs slide towards one another and knit in, so the belly in. It's kind of like that action when you were in the lunge and I had you bring your hands to the front ribs and kind of draw them in a little, okay? Now, depending on how your lower back is feeling, you can slide your hands under the sacrum. You can keep your arms by your sides. You can stretch the arms overhead and hook a thumb, okay? Those are the options. Bring your legs straight up towards the ceiling, okay? So we're going to just start with some alternating leg lifts. So take an inhale. Now as you exhale, lower the right leg until it's hovering. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, lower the left leg. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, lower the right. Inhale, lift the right. Exhale, lower the left. One more time on each side. Inhale, lift. Exhale and lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Okay, now we're going to add. Inhale, lift. Now lower the right leg and stay. Now either take your hands behind your head, interlock the fingers, or reach the arms forward. Lift your head and shoulders off the floor. Okay? Now as your head and shoulders lift, keep that. If you're holding your head, you're going to turn your upper body to the right. If your arms are forward, take the right arm to the outside of your left leg and turn the ribs. Okay, now we're going to do a couple of leg lifts here. Inhale, lift the right leg. Stay where you are with the chest and the shoulders. Exhale, lower the right leg. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Good. Now come back to center and then lower your head. Good. Now lift your right leg and then lower your left leg. It's going to hover. Take an inhale. Now lift your head and shoulders, arms forward or hands cradling your head. Now bring your left arm to the outside of the right leg. Lift the right shoulder off the floor. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. All right. Now come back to center. Lower the head. Lift your left leg. Now we're going to do both legs at the same time. Now I don't necessarily need you to lower super low to the floor. In fact, some of us are gonna brace our lower backs with the hands and not lower the legs very much. You don't need to, okay? If your back is feeling healthy today, you can do this. You could take the arms overhead. Try to find that knit sensation in the ribs. Now take an inhale. Now lower your legs as much as you can towards the floor. Now inhale, lift your legs. Move slowly, thoughtfully. Exhale and lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more. Inhale, lift. Actually, two more. Exhale, lower. One more now. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Okay. Now go ahead. Inhale, lift. And then bend your knees. Bring your feet to the floor. Let your arms relax by your sides. Pause for a moment. Okay. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Good. Now, set up for bridge pose. Walk your feet towards your sitting bones. And then point your feet straight ahead. And for most of us, the heels are close enough to us that we can lightly brush them with the fingers, but you can adjust if you need to adjust. You just don't want to feel pain in your knees. Bring your elbows next to your waist and bend your elbows with your fingers pointing up. Then press your upper arms into the floor, snuggle the shoulder blades together. Now press the feet into the mat, and then when you're ready to, start to lift your hips up away from the floor. Now there's a tendency for the knees to splay, so if that's the case, lower down, place a block between your legs, squeeze the block, and then lift up again. Now once you're here, you can straighten your arms, you can interlace the fingers, anything you want to do here. We're just going to stay with bridge today, okay? So ground through the inner foot, lengthen the buttocks forward. So this is more of just a counter of a lot of the core work that we've done, the twisting. Normally when I do a lot of twists in a yoga class, your body is primed for a lot of big back bends, but I felt that we've done enough today, energy-wise, so if you join me next week, I'll do some more back bending as the weather starts to get a little warmer. All right, take another inhale. Now move your arms out of the way and lower your butt to the floor and just stay here. If you have a block between your legs, move the block out of the way and let your knees touch. And just breathe. Ah. Okay. Now let's try it again. So again, block between the inner thighs. Remember, when we adduct our legs, we actually build strength in our core muscles. So squeeze the block with the legs if you're using that. Set yourself up for bridge pose number 2. Press the feet into the floor and then lift those hips up. Good. And just stay here. Try to ground evenly through the inner and outer feet. And it's hard to tell sometimes if your feet are turning out. So if you're like me and your natural turnout with the feet, when the feet are parallel, they feel a little pigeon-toed. So just kind of know that. Hug the outer shins in. Send the buttocks towards the heels. All right, take one more inhale. And then from there, move the arms out of the way. Lower the butt to the floor. Okay. And this time, move the block out of the way if it's still there. Bring the bottoms of the feet together and let your knees open wide. So Supta Baddha Konasana. Maybe place a hand over the belly and the other hand over the heart. Take a few slow breaths. Okay. Now for our third and final bridge, I'm going to recommend a supported bridge. Okay, so bring the feet to the floor, lift your hips, and go ahead and slide the block under your sacrum. Set the block at the height that feels comfortable, so it doesn't have to be really intense. I like the medium height. Some of us prefer the lower height, that's fine.
Let your arms relax by your sides. Take a few breaths. Now when you're here, you can stay. Now some of us really want a little more of a front body opening, so something that might feel nice is to straighten your legs. And you might straighten the legs and feel a lot of pressure in the lower back. Surprisingly today I'm not, which is good. That means that the twist actually did something. But if you do, either keep the feet on the floor or take the block down a level. Take a few more breaths, and it's okay for this version if the feet splay a little bit. I'm not too worried about that. I'm starting to wind things down. Okay. All right. And then bring the bottoms of the feet onto the floor. Lift your hips. Move the block out of the way. Come onto your back. Once you're on your back, bring your feet about the width of your sticky mat. Bring your knees together to touch. And then keeping the feet this wide, let the knees drop to the left. Reach the right arm overhead and bring your left hands on your right ribs and just give them a little gentle press down. It's totally fine to bring your left foot on top of the right. Sometimes that works. Sometimes for me though, it actually kind of bothers the knee, so I don't do it. I don't know if it's that necessary. Sometimes I wonder if the things that we do in our practice are just because someone told us to do them, or you think you're supposed to do them, and you're like, why I don't think this is useful at all. So, being your own teacher. Now release this side and then switch. So gently lower the knees to the left. Same thing, the feet are wider on your mat. And then reach your left arm overhead. Place your right hand on your left ribs and just gently drop them down. I'm noticing that the older I get, the more I enjoy this part of the class. All right, come back and just very gently bring your knees into your chest. Once you've hugged your knees in, little gentle rock from side to side. Okay. Take a hold of your outer feet for happy baby. Press the lower back into the floor. Little gentle rock from side to side. Now let's take a supine twist. So a couple of options. You can keep your knees together, shift the hips a little bit to the right and lower the knees to your left. You can do this with one knee crossed on top of the other, kind of like eagle legs. You can also do the version, it's kind of like a Padangustasana, holding the foot or using the strap. So you can do that, what we did early on. Find a spinal twist that feels comfortable. Okay, as you lower the knees to the left, turn the rib cage to the right. Notice if this twist feels a little easier than the first one we did. Begin to slow down your exhales. Come onto your backs again, uncross your knees, and switch. So whatever you did on the first side, it's usually a good idea to repeat it on the second side. Unless, you have an imbalance due to an injury or whatnot, you can always switch it out. Relax the left shoulder. Look towards the left arm. A few more breaths. Come onto your backs again. Center your hips, bring your knees into your chest, and bring your forehead towards your knees. Give yourself a final squeeze. And then from here, we're going to transition into a Shavasana. Okay, so I'm going to take my blocks and bring them under the knees. Normally I would do this with a bolster. You can take your Shavasana if you have a wall space really close to you. You can bring your legs up the wall. Let your legs kind of splay a little bit. Let your arms relax. Slide the shoulders away from your ears and close your eyes, maybe covering them with a towel. And for the next few moments in this pose, focus on the rise and fall of your belly button. And each time your mind starts to wander towards something in the future or in the past or any plan that you might be kind of preparing for or anything else that's consuming your mind, just focus on the belly, the rise and fall as you inhale and exhale. If you can stay in your Shavasana a little bit longer, please do so. Otherwise, slowly begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes and your wrists and your ankles. Stretch your legs and arms in opposite directions. Get long. And bring both knees into your chest. Gently roll over to your right side. Pause in a fetal position. And when you're ready, make your way into a comfortable seat, facing any direction. Prop your hips if you need to. Sit up tall. Just rest your hands on your lap again. Palms up or down. Close your eyes. And take the final few moments here to observe the breath, the body, the mind, the effects of the practice.
And thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great rest of your day and your week. Go in peace. Namaste.